This story is called Thomas Edison Inventor. It is written by David A. Adler and illustrated, that means she drew the pictures, by Sarah Snow. And look, in our story yesterday, they had talked about Gutenberg and his printing press. And look, Edison is right here working beside a printing press. So he was around mechanical things for a long time. Young Thomas Edison asked lots of questions. When someone told him, "I don't know," Tom had one more question. He asked, "Why don't you know?" He did lots of experiments to find out. Tom watched a goose sit on some eggs. He saw the eggs hatch. He wanted to know what would happen if he sat on eggs. So Tom made a nest. Then he put goose and chicken eggs in the nest. Next he sat down on the eggs and found out. Splat! Humans aren't intended to sit on eggs. Young Tom also knew that birds ate worms and birds could fly. What if people ate worms? Tom guessed that they would fly too. So he gave a girl a cup of chopped worms and water. The girl drank it and got sick. And she didn't fly. Why would she have drank that? Thomas Edison, the boy who asked all those questions and did those unusual experiments, became the man whose inventions changed the world. Tom Edison was born in 1847 in Milan, Ohio. He was the seventh and youngest child of Sam and Nancy Edison. Sam had a lumber mill. Nancy had been a teacher. When Tom had trouble in school, his mother became his teacher at home. Young Tom did many of his experiments in the cellar of his home. He had lots of jars of chemicals. He wanted to keep people from messing with them. To fix the problem, he had an idea. He wrote poison on each jar. He thought that would keep others away. He was right. There were often smoke, strange smells, and loud noises in the Edison home. It all came from the cellar, from young Tom's experiments. Tom needed money to pay for chemicals and other things. As a result, he got a job when he was 12. He sold newspapers and candies on trains. Then, at 15, he began to write, print, and sell his own newspaper for travelers. He named it the Grand Trunk Herald. Tom wrote news of people he met on the train. He also wrote how he felt about work. The more to do, he wrote in the newspaper, the more done. Tom liked to keep busy. Tom kept very busy on the train. He even set up his own lab in the baggage car. As Tom got older, he kept doing great things. There were no telephones at the time. Instead, messages were sent through telegraph wires. They were sent in a code of dots and dashes. Tom learned the code. He got a job sending and reading telegraph messages. He found new ways to use the telegraph. Those were some of his first inventions. When Tom grew up, he became an inventor. He invented all kinds of things that helped people. At the time, burning gas lights lit homes and streets. Sometimes smoke from the lights filled a room. Sometimes fire from the lights burned a home down. Tom was sure he could make a better light, so he did experiments with electric lights. He had a lot of ideas. His notes filled hundreds of notebooks. After more than a year of work, Tom did it. He made a light that was safe to use. "The electric light is the light of the future," Tom said, "and it will be my light." Edison's lights were big news. People came from all over to see them. Once they saw Edison's lights, they wanted them in their homes. Tom's lights brightened the world. Tom Edison spent his whole life making great things. The things he made held people everywhere. And this is what he looked like when he was 15. And he invented the first machine that could record sound and play them back. Without this, we would never have had music players or movies or TV with sound today. He made this early music player using his own sound machine. Mr. Edison in his lab in Menlo Park, New Jersey. He's getting a little older. Edison's light bulb design looks similar to the ones that we use today. They do look like the ones that we do, only ours didn't have the drippy thing at the top, did they? Edison invented the very first machine for looking at films. Without this machine, there would have never been TV or movies. I'm thankful for Mr. Edison, aren't you? That's the end of our story. I hope that you all think about things that maybe you could invent, things that you could do better. I'll be glad to listen to your ideas. I'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.